Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon. We are from Group 2. We'll be present about risk and performance in corporate governance of construction industry. My name is Nurliza Nazira binti Akas. My metric number is 233335. Okay, I will present about the introduction. The construction is one of the important thing in terms of company in every country. Based on the 5 company of construction which is YTL Corporation Berhad, IGM Corporation Berhad, Malaysian Resource Corporation Berhad, Gamuda Berhad, and the last is WCT Holding Berhad. All these company are in the top 6 of the top constructions in Malaysia. The industry sector is measure of the top company by the slowing of their growth of profit. Especially in 2014, shows the third year of the growth profit increase. The construction sector is play very important role in the economic in terms of gain profit. In Malaysia, the construction sector is active and has a clear feature in terms of its policy and practice. In recent period, Malaysians now is working towards achieving a high income status by 2020, and government already set up the economy roadmap outline to transform the country and make the country recognized as developed nation. All these factors depends on the economics, politicals and social cultural of the place where the project will be undertaken. So, it is important for any company to make an advanced research before handling with the various type of construction project.
My name is Fatiha binti Waya Anwar, 233065. I will be presenting you about literature review. First, Way Mustafa and Supri 2016. A complete information about risk formation in Islamic mode of financing is very important. This is because of it might resulting the management of liquidity become untrusted. In business cycle, bank will always have to take responsible towards the business risk as involving to the equity-based financing. Second, corporate governance in Malaysia by Singa. According to the article of corporate governance in Malaysia, the systematic and continuous growth in Malaysia corporate sector can be achieved through a well-organized corporate governance system. There are four main points that contribute to the problem in corporate sector, which is ownership structure and operation of the company, the quality of shareholder control, creditor monitoring and protection available in Malaysian corporate sector, and the last is the stage of the Malaysian media business. Next, Amran Manoff Rosli. According to Amran, stated that driven by the increasing complexity of doing business, risk management has become an important and integral part of the company's internal control and governance in order to achieve its plans and objectives.
My name is Intan Nur Fatiha binti Saari. My metric number 233357. In addition, for literature review, according to Kolapur, Ayani and OKE 2012, it claimed that the employee of the company measure the credit risk management strategy which is basically bank to reduce or transfer or avoid or regarding impact of the credit risk management. All the framework is important in order to make sure to gain the profitability to keep survive. The main principle of credit risk management is arranged by clear structure of establishment, fully responsibility, and all the process need to be disciplined and the responsibility also need to be clear. In other article, according to Said Ibrahim 2007, the corporate governance disclosure and key balance sheet ratio among Malaysian listed company have no correlation at all. The level of corporate governance disclosure was not related to all balance sheet ratios. Moreover, the researcher was also claimed first that by improve the corporate governance that will improve credit rating. In the last article, which is according to Dizialo 1998, the analysis of financial ratios can be proof of the existence of the relationship between type of corporate governance and financial standing of a firm, also by the active boards that contribute to relatively to be for the better financial result of companies. The fact that positive influence of active type of corporate governance on financial standing of companies still desires more time. Next is for leverage ratio, which is debt to equity ratio. Debt to equity ratio is the percentage of financing that comes from bank or stockholders. For company that has the lower, and if the ratio of the company is not exceed than 1, it shows a good sign for company. It can be concluded that the company not taking too many loan and do not have too much debt. Based on the graph, which is within 5 years between YTL Corporation, Gamuda Berhad, and WCT Holding Berhad, it shows that WCT Holding Berhad has the best performance and the lowest ratio, especially in year 2013 until 2015. Means WCT Holding Berhad is more financed by its stockholder and its and equity. For the IGM Corporation and Malaysian Resource Corporation Berhad, the ratio is more than 1, and it can be assumed that the company is more financed with more loans and from a bank.
Okay, next I will present about the current ratio. Liquidity ratio can be defined as the ratio about the how company to measure their ability to pay their obligations. In other words, the current ratio measuring how company ability to pay their short and long-term debt or obligation. The more the current assets that the company have, so the easier the company can pay the obligations either short-term or long-term. According to this graph, the higher level for the 5 companies can achieve between 5 years is in 2013, which is the WCT Holding Berhad. In overall, that can see between those 5 companies, the company WCT Holding Berhad can be conclude that the company almost got the higher current ratio between the other company. Besides that, IGM Corporation Berhad can be said that the company is the almost get the lower current ratio. So we can conclude that IGM company is very hard to pay the obligations compared to the other company, while the WCT Holding Berhad is the company have no problem to pay their obligations.
Next, I'll be presenting about return on asset. Return on asset is an indicator of how profitable a company is relative to its total asset. ROA gives an idea as to how efficient management is at using its asset to generate earnings, calculated by dividing a company's annual earnings by its total asset. ROA is displayed as percentage. Company's asset sole purpose is to generate revenues. The ratio helps both management and investor to see how well the company runs. Based on this graph, we can see that the highest ratio is in 2015, which is the YTL Corporation is the highest, and for overall, the lowest is in 2013. For overall, all companies are effective on managing their asset. Because of the higher the ratio, the more efficient it is.
My name is Nurjana bintu Abdul Rahim. My metric number is 233243. Okay, I will discuss about the discussion which is descriptive statistic. Okay, descriptive statistic is one of the measuring items from SPSS. Okay, so this table shows about mean and standard deviation for dependent and independent variables. So the dependent variable we choose, which is ROA, and while the rest we choose as the independent variable. So the variable is divided into 2, which is external variable and internal variable. The internal variable is such as the remuneration, leverage, ROA and ROE, so on. while the external variable are often called as the macroeconomic variables, which is inflation, unemployment rate, GDP, and also inflation. Then we move to the mean for the dependent variable, which is ROA. We can see that the mean is 0.04, while the standard deviation, which shows that the volatility. Okay, actually the meaning of standard deviation is it shows that how volatile the company manage themselves. Okay, and then we move toward the differences between the mean and also the standard deviation, which is 0.01. It is a small differences actually. So for your information, the bigger the differences between the mean and also the volatility, it shows that the company manage their cost very well. So for my view, these 5 companies should minimize more on the expenses, so it can be a good cost. They should manage more their costs. Okay, then we move to the independent variable, which is ROE. Okay, ROE, we focusing the comparison between the ROA and ROE. The ROA is 0.04, while the ROE is 0.07. We can see the ROE shows the bigger number than the ROA, which is about 0.03. So that we can see that the management or the company return is more on the shareholders' equity instead of the total asset. For the macroeconomic variable, we choose the inflation, GDP, interest rate, and unemployment rate. From the table, we can see that the mean for interest rate is the highest, which is 3.45, followed by the GDP, inflation rate, and also unemployment rate.
Okay, my name is Muhammad Ridwan bin Osman, and my metric number is 233068. Now, I will continue about the return on equity overall for 5 companies. First and foremost, every investor that want to invest into the company must see how company return on equity, which is the function of return on equity is to measure how much the shareholder will get the earn for their investment in those company that have been invested. In addition, ROE is a profitability ratio from the investor point of view. By this ratio, it calculates how much money are made based on the investor investment in the companies, not the company investment in asset or something else. So, the higher the ratio are almost always better than the lowest ratio. So, based on the graph, it shows that the 5 company ratio about the return on equity. As you can see, the IGM Corporation is the lowest ratio compared to the other companies, while the YTL Corporation is the higher ratio among these companies. Thus, the higher the ratio is, the better the performance of the company. As a conclusion, we can summarize that YTL Corporation Berhad is well performed between 5 companies listed in this construction industry during the 5 years. This is due to its company performance that shows the higher the return on asset and also the return on equity that the company achieve. In contrast, the IGM Corporation Berhad is a worst performance among the 5 companies. The ROA and ROE of this company shows the lowest the ratio, and the leverage for the company is high due to the company has more debt. The more the profit that the company can generate, it shows that the company has a well structure of the corporate governance. So, we can conclude that the performance of YTL Corporation Berhad is influenced by the well managed of their corporate governance. That's all from us. Thank you.